Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Generation Select's Shattered Glass Optimus Prime and Ratchet. Now originally I wasn't too interested in the Shattered Glass stuff, but now that they're kind of making a whole line out of it, I decided to go back and pick this one up, and I was lucky enough to grab one of the last ones on Big Bad Toy Store. So very excited to check this out. Pretty standard Generation Selects packaging. I've heard people say before that it kind of looks like a shoebox, and they're not really wrong. Just kind of your normal cardboard box that has this kind of spray paint motif going on here. War for Cybertron trilogy. Although technically I would argue that the Shattered Glass stuff is not really part of War for Cybertron trilogy, but that's neither here nor there. So if we go ahead and open this up, we see the two figures packed inside. I have to say, I do really like this color scheme for Optimus Prime. I think that's a really rad look. And I'm getting serious Snowcat vibes from Ratchet over here, which looks really, really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get these two out of the packaging here, and then we're going to take a closer look. So here they are both out of the packaging. We're going to go ahead and put Ratchet off to the side and focus on Prime here for a moment. This is a really great color scheme. I mean, first off, they're using the Earthrise mold, which is already like one of the best Optimus molds we've gotten in the past 5 to 10 years. And this is just a fantastic color scheme on top of it. You have this really rich purple paired with this really dark navy blue, and then you have some gray, and then you kind of have this like sickly green color here. It's just a great color scheme. I mean, that face is perfect. The red eyes really pop against the dark blue, the silver face paint. Really, really, really well done. And then because the Autobots now have the purple symbols, you have it just outlined here in silver. Really, really sharp. It's a great, great figure. And like I said, this is the Earthrise mold, so there's not really any surprises here. We can go through articulation real quick. So you have the head on a ball joint. So you get a little bit of side to side. Obviously turn side to side, rock back and forth. You have a swivel here and a hinge for the shoulder. Bicep swivel, 90 degrees in the elbow. The wrists can swivel as well as open the hands at the fingers. You have a waist swivel here. Now this little bit of kibble here on the back gets in the way a little bit, but not terribly. I mean, you can still get some good movement there. You have hips that can kick forward all the way out to the side. You have a thigh swivel. I would say more than 90 degrees there in the knee. And then of course you have the signature ankle tilt, which all these lines now have. But it's, like I said, it's a really great figure. I mean, it's a great base done with a fantastic color scheme. I'm really glad I went back and decided to pick this up because I would have missed out. He looks really, really good. We'll get into transformation in a minute, but I'm going to bring Ratchet in here real quick. Now, Ratchet is usually primarily white, so the color scheme is not a drastic departure in that regard. But they've paired it with this kind of turquoise and purple color scheme, which, like I said, is definitely giving me serious Snowcat vibes. But he looks great. I mean, again, it's a good base. This is the Earthrise mold, which is already built off the Siege mold, so it's not terribly different. But again, that head sculpt really does it for me. I mean, I guess it's the same head sculpt, but the color scheme, it's those red eyes. They look so good with the red eyes. And then you have the purple crest there, which really works. And then the blue that they've used for the arms and the legs kind of pairs perfectly with the blue translucent material for the windows. And again, we have a limited ball joint here for the head, so a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of side to side. Can kind of tilt side to side as well. You have a swivel and a hinge here for the shoulders. Now, this part in the body kind of moves as well as the actual shoulder itself, so you have a little bit of double shoulder hinge there. Bicep swivel, I would say 90 degrees for the elbow. Wrists can swivel, but they do not open. The hands don't open. You have waist swivel there. Kick forward, kick out to the side. You can kick back all with the hips. Thigh swivel, 90 degrees at the knee, and then you do have the ankle tilt as well. So really nicely articulated. Like I said, we've seen these molds before, so there's not too much of a surprise regarding that, but really, really perfect color schemes for both of these guys. Now, they do, of course, come with their accessories. Prime has his cannon, which you can fold in half. That's to store it in the vehicle mode. We'll get there. But you can go ahead and just pop that into his hand very simply. And then Ratchet has the, I'll call it kibble piece, because that's really what it is. This is the piece they came up with to form the kind of roof of the car, or the van, I guess it is. But it does have this really cool like booster effect here. you can retract it with this. Now you kind of have to keep it retracted in the vehicle mode, which is kind of a shame because I would like to use it as like a booster. I wish that was deployable in the vehicle mode, but it's meant to be a cannon. So you can put this on the side of his hand if you want. You can peg it in here. Or if you want, you can have him store it on his back. He's got the peg hole there. So you can peg it in there if you wanted to wear like a really long cape piece. So you do have some options there. Now he does come with this like light bar piece, which you're supposed to peg in here. I'm not really sure why this is a separate piece. Maybe it's just how they had to store it in the packaging. But again, that purple Autobot symbol really sharp there on the white. I'm just going to peg this on and leave it on. I can't really find a use for it pegged anywhere else on his body. But so that's that piece. And then he just has a standard gun, which you can just peg into his hand. Nothing new or exciting there. They also kind of show in the directions trying to use this as like a little base mode. If you're familiar with the original G1 toy, it was a weird looking robot with no head, but it had kind of a bottom piece that formed the bottom of the van, and that became like a little base area. And you can kind of do something similar with this. It's really up to your interpretation, to be quite honest, but they want you to peg this in on the side here, and then I guess have this be like a little station. I'm not really sure. Again, it's a little bit left to the imagination, but you can do with that as you please. Really, you just need this piece for vehicle mode. If you want to put it off to the side the rest of the time, you certainly can. I kind of like him just to have the gun here. It's the glowing red eyes that really do it for me. I think that really drives the point home that these guys are evil this time around, and that's really a fun concept to think about. Like, Ratchet's usually a medic, but obviously the Decepticons, as we see them, don't really have medics, so that kind of makes me think he's more of like an evil scientist or something, kind of like a Shockwave type in Shattered Glass universe, so that's kind of fun to think about. But yeah, just two really fun color schemes. I think they did a nice job with this. Prime especially, he's just, like, everything's a beautiful matte, especially with the darker blue and the gray down here. It's just really, really well done. So I really like these two. Let's go ahead, let's get into some transformations. We'll start with Optimus. So again, this is just the Earthrise mold. There should be no surprises here, so I'm going to run through this pretty quickly. We're going to take the gun. We're going to fold that in half, put it off to the side for the moment. We're going to open up these side pieces on the hands and make sure that the hands are kind of closed all the way so that they can rotate into the forearm. And then you're going to close it up. So let's go ahead and rotate this hand in as well. Then you're going to kind of put these down here. You're going to... Oh, I forgot to show off his matrix. He does have a matrix. Let's take a look at that real quick. You can take it out of there. It's kind of difficult. You kind of have to like pincer it at both sides and pull it straight out. Let me see if I can actually get this. It was giving me some trouble earlier. Yep, there we go. Okay. So you can see it's done in this kind of translucent yellow material, and then just painted over top. You have the dark gray on the sides and then a little bit of purple. So I think that's pretty cool. I like that he comes with a matrix, and then you just pop it back in. And then just close that back up. You do not have to open the windows for the transformation. I just wanted to show off the matrix. So we're going to pop this section up like so. We're going to open this part up. And then this is going to flip out and kind of lock into place here. There we go. And then you're going to flip out all of these tabs. Then there's more tabs under here that we're going to fold out. We need to come here to the back and open up this section so that we can rotate the prime head in. Now, mine's very prone to getting stuck as we rotate this around, so just be careful with it. It's kind of a tight fit. But that'll rotate around, and then this pegs back in here and pegs up like that. Then you kind of have to leave this up. You're going to want to come down here and open these wheel pieces and kind of flip this down so that you have room to spin the torso all the way around, like so. Then we're going to flip up the legs, like this. You can go ahead and just peg them together, like that. And then you can just flip the toes down, like so. Alright, so coming back to the front here, this is going to flip around like this. This is going to come down. You want to make sure the arms are out of the way so you can swing them back. For now, This is going to come down here and peg onto that, like so. Now you want to make sure that the legs are back because there's a little tab here that's going to tab in right there. So you can go ahead and close that up, like so. You're going to flip the arms and fold them in like you've done for every Optimus. Oh, I forgot a step, haha. These little sections here, you flip back. They kind of form like his lower back, and they're going to fold up into here. That way the arms have room to come in here, and they're just going to transform in like every single Optimus you've ever done. The arms will swing back and then go in there, and then this is going to close up. These little blue sections here, and let me zoom in a little bit. These tiny little pieces here will flip up. How do I do it on this? I think it's this whole piece here. This flips up, and I probably should have done this before I swung the arms in there. So we'll see if I can do this after the fact. There we go. Okay, we'll bend them at the knees. That's a good way to do it. So these little pieces flip up here. And you see that they have little tabs. And that's so that the arms can tab into them. You don't actually need to do this step, but it's just kind of a way to lock this in place more. There we go. So that kind of locks in there. And then these little pieces here will flip out to kind of give him the fuel tanks on the side. So there we go. There is our cab. And I don't have this perfectly lined up, but that should be good. Then you can take the gun, and there's a peg here on his back, and this is just going to peg in like so for storage right there. But it's a good looking cab. Like I said, this is honestly one of my favorite Optimus modes molds that we've gotten in a while. Rolls well. Now obviously he doesn't have the trailer. I don't know if they have any plans to do a shattered glass trailer. I would assume they do not, or they would have given it to us already. But you could always take the Optimus trailer we already have and pop it in there. Honestly, what I would like to do, there was, I believe, I think it was the second mystery leader class figure for the Netflix line, was a like black version of the Siege Optimus that we already kind of had that Japanese import that I reviewed. But the trailer with that, I think, would look good with him. I would like to get a hold of that trailer and see how it looks with this guy, because I think that would really work. It would be kind of, I think it's a black color scheme or maybe a darker gray. If it's this kind of dark gray, I think it would really work. I have to go back and take a look at it. But yeah, I would like to get a trailer for this guy eventually. Moving on to Ratchet, we're going to go ahead and take his weapon out of his hand. Now, it's the same as the Earthrise mold, so no surprises here. And honestly, that was rebuilt off the Siege mold, so really no surprises here. Just make sure his hands and everything are lined up. You're going to unpeg this piece, and then we can rotate the head down inside. You can kind of leave this open for now. This is going to rotate back. We're going to take the hands and swing them up here like so, and then peg them into each other at the forearms, which is off camera, I'm noticing now, so we'll go ahead and peg that in there. Then this is going to pull out, and then this is going to extend around. Sometimes it has a little bit of trouble clearing his kind of crotch plate there, but you can get it to go. Then you can bring this back up, and then that will kind of click into place there. Then you're going to swing these around about like 120 degrees, not all the way. Then this is going to flip open. How does this open? Like this? There we go. So bring this around, flip this open so you can clear it. Then you're going to just kind of straighten this around, peg the two legs into each other. And then this kind of just comes up here. This closes around that and pegs in to the sides of the hands. And then this is going to close up like that. So that's pretty much it. This is basically what the Siege mode was. You still have the giant feet hanging off the back, which, you know, wasn't a big deal with Siege because they were the same color. But now that they're a different color, they're just kind of hanging out there. So what we're going to do is take that. we're going to take this piece here, we're going to push this in, and you kind of have to do that because it has to fit into this little hole here, and then these two pegs here have to line up with the pegs on the forearms. Then we're going to open this up, and we're going to flip this down like so, and then this is just going to come in and sit on top. This is not open all the way. There we go. Drop this down. I guess you kind of have to pull these out a little bit to clear the arm shoulders. And then this should just peg in on top here like so. And then this will close down. And then this just kind of closes up like so. And there you go. There is your van mode. I think it's pretty successful. Like I said, still just have those giant honking feet hanging off the back, which is a little bit of a bummer. But other than that, it's also a little weird that part of the window is clear and part of it is not. I feel like they shouldn't have molded it that way. Just done the big window here and then leave this just, you know, the panel so that this was just kind of capped there because it looks weird going from one to the other. The shoulder here is at least white, so that blends in with the rest of the vehicle. The front and everything I think looks great. Just the window going from clear to opaque I think is a weird choice. But other than that, it works. You can put the gun on top here if you want. Rolls pretty well. Let me adjust the camera here just a bit. So yeah, pretty cool. I kind of wish that there was an Autobot symbol somewhere on the front, but not a huge deal. Overall, pretty pleased with it. So this is a really great set. Initially, I really had no interest in the whole shattered glass thing, but now that they're kind of fleshing it out into its own separate line, it made me go back and take a look at this set, and I'm really glad I did, because the Earthrise Prime mold is fantastic, and this is just a beautiful color scheme for it. I love the colors. It really looks cool. Those creepy red eyes, especially for Ratchet. I feel like those red eyes just really tie everything together and sells the idea of evil Autobots, which I'm really interested in. And I can't recommend it enough. I'm really having a ton of fun with this. Very excited for the future of the line. We have a Blur, we have a Megatron, we have a Starscream coming. Hopefully they do more past that, because I think this is a smart, interesting way to give us repaints of molds they want to use again. I mean, Hasbro does this all the time, but this is a smart, interesting way to do it, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, but I definitely recommend grabbing this one if you can still find it for a reasonable price. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.